This is KOOP HD1 HD3 Hornsby, radio for people, not for profit. Welcome to Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show. Each week, we explore how your library is more than books. The library is knowledge, technology, and inspiration for our community. Hello there, Volumes listeners. This is Kanya Lyons, your host today. This is our 101st episode. We've been doing this for 2 years now, and I'm sad to announce that this is also our final episode of Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show. But we've had a really great 2-year run, and normally we feature the Challenger Street newspaper writers on the third Wednesday of every month, but last Wednesday was our 100th episode, so we had a very special episode. And so we're putting the Challenger Street writers today, and this is our very final episode. And I hope everyone enjoys these stories that are written by some really, truly amazing writers.
I'm Valerie Romness, the director-editor of the Challenger Street newspaper. We appreciate you listening with an open heart and an open mind. The paper represents a job for people on the street and a voice. For more details, challengernewspaper.org. Thank you.
The opinions expressed in the following stories reflect the authors and are not the opinions of Co-op Radio or the Austin Public Library. Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Rana Ghana. I'm going to be reading The Marvelous Graphic. The hand reaches for a writing device, a burnt piece of timber, an inked feather, or a professional stilo fit for a Wall Street executive. The wrist struggles to form words for the receiver to decipher, to piece together in a pattern of overbearing dominance. The words must defeat all other patterns of words that came before it, or the wrist has failed in its search for meaningfulness. The arm has failed again at its task of remembering not to fight this battle. It can't be won, and in fact only creates pain in the form of isolation and polarization. My mouth screams for it to stop, remembers how it was before when the stilo had no meaning at all. The brain was free to smile, laugh, play, and travel in its own patterns of joy, instead of the ones dictated to be the correct paths, leading to the true form of joy I secretly must be trying to reach. The jaw moves erratically, trying to distract the hand holding the pen from hurting anyone anymore. Like a nightmare playing slowly in reverse and on repeat. The hand, writing the painful words meant only to infantilize and humiliate the receiver, still continues on its quest. I was not there to write those words, the first words ever written, nor was I there to stop that first hand in a dance of distraction from sealing its own fate of self-defeating grandiosity by removing its writing device, the chosen weapon to wield this time. I would also like to say that I did not choose those words that were deemed hurtful enough that they were worthy of the literate blood sport of scribery. In fact, reader, I too was a pawn in it all, a mere onlooker, chosen only to fill the crowd of expected gawkers, deemed only worthy enough to gaze admiringly into the souls of the shining scribes as they created their artful patterns of carefully chosen hate spit. Never one to stand out, though. I didn't run away when those same scribes deemed me worthy enough to walk among them and become a fellow in their elaborate religion of note-keeping. I knew it was their hands that created the same notes that had doomed my freedom so many times, and to shun them was another slap in my own face. Also, I was weaker now, older, and no faster in the feet or the wit to escape with my lies. I'm not the only person trapped in this tomb of literary eloquence. The weather is always good here, and the food is the richest you've ever known. The camaraderie comes in the hope that we all share that one day a randomly filed article with some genius pattern of knowledgeably chosen words will create a spurn of creationism that can only empower and enrich the community it reaches. Many of such articles have been born from the Challenger newspaper and created great things in Austin, Texas, and beyond. I didn't mean to scare you with my translation of the art form of writing, although it is Halloween, so it would seem fitting.
Hello, my name is John Curran, and my story is called Plastic Guns. If anybody deserved it, Charlie did, after what he had done. It was too bad. We'd been good friends. I figured I'd get him at 300 yards. Charlie liked that. He always used to say, if you can't hit at 300 yards, you really can't shoot. Charlie did have some standards. It was too bad, but couldn't be helped after what he'd done. Complex. Had this most beautiful rifle. It was a Mauser, I think, by Berlinghetti, out of old Italy or something. An actual sniper rifle. From the war even. My neighbor, as if he really knows. He just acquired it from someone else. Some shady deal, I think. And then someone else had got murdered. It was all over the news. A drug deal gone bad. Gangs. Beautiful rifle, though. Beautiful. Old walnut wood, an old straight long barrel. Bolt action that slid like silk. Piece of art, really. My neighbor's saying you could hit a fly with this at 500. Well, I didn't need that, I said, like a joke. And now it weren't no joke. Charlie gone and done it. So, I made my neighbor an offer. Surprisingly, he really didn't even want it. He was going to let me have it for a bill. I set things up with Charlie. It was going to be a Thursday, and I'd get the piece on Tuesday. I was all excited. I had it all pegged out exactly 300 yards, one end of the park to the other. So, Monday night. Man, I can't sleep, and there's nothing on TV, the usual. Except, damn, the ambulances didn't come late, in 2s and 3s. Cops. Man, what was up? Well, it turns out the next day they're hauling out my neighbor in a body bag. He'd hung himself. You believe it? Damn, and I had Charlie all pegged out at 300. So, of course, I can't get the gun. That beautiful piece. Hell, I might have just hung it up on my wall. Piece of fine art for all that. After Charlie, that is. It would, of course, had to have been after Charlie. Yeah, after what Charlie, had done. So now I'm in a quandary. What to do. I make a couple fast calls, and lo and behold, this shady so-called friend of mine says he can hook me up. He knows this guy. Okay, I say. It's getting to be a rush job now. So Wednesday, the other end of town. The shit kicker in. Some trailer park. Yeah, dump for sure. And this guy. So we meet. He ain't got nothing there I can see but a lot of computer junk. Seems though some of it is kind of something fancy like a 3D printer or something. So I meet this guy. He's not a dirtbag, but he is one of these guys who's got to put on this real tough guy front. And it's black, baby. Beard's blacks, t-shirts blacks, pants, jacket, shoes. You get the picture. Except, get this, his socks are white. Man, I wasn't with it on sight. Especially when he pulls out the goods. And, I kid you not, they were plastic. Everything he showed me, plastic. Yeah, but they still kill, buddy, he's saying. Trust me, they kill real good. Well, first of all, do not ever say trust me to yours truly, please. And white socks with black straights and shoes, gag me with a spoon. And of course, that ain't even the least of that. And so I had to call it off. Probably better thing for it. I mean, come on, plastic. Hey, Charlie deserves better than that. Even and no matter what he's unfortunately done. Damn it. And I'm going to read a story of mine called Salt. It wasn't easy, man, but I feel like finally I cut it loose from all that. Cut it loose, Howard. Oh, Howard, he'd be stomping on the roof of them cars. Cut it loose, Howard. That old scene. There was a reason I split all that. But a lot of the old ties that bind, linger on, and I dragged them around for a long time. I didn't ask this guy to call me. They must have been thinking they were supposed to be feeling sorry for me or something. I'd written some damn story, my regular column. I got to fill the space at least once a month with something. Half the time it's, nothing special, I'll admit. This could have been that. Anyway, out of some old habit, I guess, some old sentimental notion, I've been dishing out the monthly thing to one of the old guys way back that way. I'd want him to know that, yeah, I still feel for you old guys. And look what old Johnny's up to now. Not that they probably even care anymore. Bad memories and beatdowns. But enough time and distance, and even the old hometown still looks the same. Anyway, this one piece relates how I went back there this one time again, after all this time away. A time when, in fact, I'd been glad to have been gone. And so I come back, and all the old buddies said giving old Johnny the cold damn shoulder. It really makes a difference to me now, styling as I am my new Houston penthouse with baby. But say, at the time, well, the column and all, the damn monthly. Must have sounded like I'm crying in my beer or something. And so these guys, tipped to it through old Connect, must have just been suddenly suffering the old buyer's remorse. And so out of the blue, old pal Joey, wouldn't you know, gives me a phone call. We've been best friends in 9th grade or something. So he says, old JC. And I'm I don't even know who this is. Yeah, he says, Joey Vollmer. Man, was that a double take. So we do the dumbass for a minute. I tell him how surprised and thrilled I am to actually hear from him after all these 45 years. And it's like going okay. I'm ready to, I guess, end it on a good note. Maybe I'll see you again, old buddy, in this lifetime. When suddenly, like on his end, he's got to put in his clothes. Like, yeah, maybe later. After he's hung up, he's going to go surfing, ha ha ha. And this is the one thing I can't do now, see? Being in Houston, a long way from a real beach. And he's laughing, ha ha ha, like the same old tired gotcha beat game. I got something you ain't got no more. You left our old tribe, and now you can't get it no more. Our little golden thing. 3-foot beach break at Smyrna Inlet, and we still can, 'cause we were true bros. And so I gotta be like, in my own mind, yeah, but I got Hawaii. Hawaii and the tragedy of all that. Big bad thing, pal, Joey. And yeah, I miss it real bad. Smyrna Inlet at 3 foot solid.
Hey there, Austin. This is Maya from the Teen Library Council here to tell you about this week's library events for teens. Getting ready for college? Not sure where to start? The library's here to help. Access College America's Dale Prince will host an information-packed hour to help parents and their teens navigate college admissions. Learn more about applying for FAFSA, writing personal essays, creating a planning timeline, and more. The College Planning Workshop is open to parents and teens on Thursday, September 27th at 6:30 p.m. at the Hosen Branch. More details on the College Planning Workshop and additional programs will be found at library.austintexas.gov/events.
This is Alana Graves, the youth librarian at the Carver Branch. The kids are back at school, and the Austin Public Library is offering free events for kids. Kids ages 5 to 8 can come to the North Village branch to learn how to build and control their very own robots. These robots use EV3 software to teach kids innovative engineering design processes and teach the basics of building simple machines. This program is in partnership with T-Squared Robots. Robots will be provided. All kids have to bring is their creativity. This program is on Saturday, September 28th from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. at the North Village branch. Details at library.austintexas.gov.
You're listening to Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show on Co-op 91.7 FM and KOOP.org. Radio for people, not for profit.
This is Art Baker, host of Jamaican Gold and Vice President of Co-op's Board of Directors. On behalf of all of the volunteers at Co-op, I would like to thank all of our members who supported us during our fall membership drive. Your contributions have made this drive the most successful to date. Members like you allow us to continue our mission to provide a voice to the underserved in the Austin community, train community members in the art of broadcasting, and provide unique content only community radio can provide. If you did not get a chance to contribute during the drive, you may join us at koop.org. Once again, thank you.
Support comes from Line Upon Line Percussion, presenting their season opening concert, A Republic of Spaces, Friday, September 28th through Sunday, September 30th at 8 p.m. at First Street Studio. The concert includes the music of Steve Reich and new works by composer Aaron Cassidy, utilizing air hoses, cardboard, cell phone vibrators, egg beaters, and styrofoam. Tickets and more information at lineuponlinepercussion.org.
Welcome back. This is Valerie Romness, Director Editor of ChallengerNewspaper.org. Thank you for listening.
The opinions expressed in the following stories reflect the authors and are not the opinions of Co-op Radio or the Austin Public Library. Thank you for listening.
The rule of law for sale. I'm Marcellus. The Travis County District Attorney is for sale. The Gregg County District Attorney is for sale. The Travis County Sheriff's Department is for sale. The Gregg County Sheriff's Department is for sale. The Governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, Republican, the graduate of an accredited law school, is for sale. The Attorney General of the State of Texas, Ken Paxton, Republican, The graduate of an accredited law school is for sale. Justice and the rule of law are for sale legally in the United States. Due process carries an expiration date. You are all without exception, the above and the below, an insult to the word justice and the rule of law. Not your faults. The institutions that produced all of you failed you. But ignorance of the rule of law is no excuse. The objective of the court is to arrive at justice. Our respective law schools do not teach this, according to the provisions of the rule of law. Society currently pays the price. The oath used to give testimony, the rule of law, is knowingly, willfully, and intentionally being used by the court and law enforcement to make legitimate, known, fictitious written documentation to be used as evidence when that same evidence at that same instant in time is firmly disqualified by the rule of law. This is the same instant in time that the denial of due process occurs. Due process is established beyond the courtroom door. Anything that is first said inside the courtroom door establishes truth. Truth is spoken word. You are alive outside the courtroom door and did not die before being inside. Truth is any spoken word spoken inside and outside the courtroom. Nothing more. You are whole truth. There are two rules of law. They are called and, or. Outside the courtroom door, the laws of or dominate. Or is having choices. This is something that is never spoken of. Nevertheless, it is a physical reality. The choices are not labeled good or bad. They are simply different. The words of the oath administered by the court specify by spoken word the provisions of and to apply in the courtroom as the rule of law chosen. And has only one choice. The court and law enforcement are obligated by their own words to adhere. It is the responsibility of the court and law enforcement to make this known and to explain its meaning. In the courtroom, documentation must be science-based nonfiction, according to the provisions of and. You must first be alive outside the courtroom door in order to be alive inside to be able to speak. The same holds true for written evidence. Documentation must also be alive according to the provisions of and outside the courtroom door in order to be read inside. Documentation does not live or die as we do. Documentation is either nonfiction, alive, or fiction, dead. The same is with you and me, deemed by the court and law enforcement by the rule of law. The objective of the court is to arrive at justice. Truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth are the only means to justice. The spoken word of the oath administered by the court are the only way to arrive at justice. This is required for physical evidence to exist in the courtroom. Due process by the way of the rule of law allows for the arrival of justice. This reality, or another commonly understood and documented as fact reality, should be taught by every law school in the United States. No law school in the history of law schools has ever taught its graduate any spoken or written knowledge of the rule of law and its meaning. Law schools do not teach the rule of law. The rule of law has no political, religious, corporate allegiances, affiliations, influence, or obligation. It does not carry a label. It is not liberal. It is not conservative. The rule of law is neither Republican nor Democrat. The rule of law does not carry on display a for sale sign. The rule of law is not for sale. Due process does not come with an expiration date. Justice carries no price tag. Brett Kavanaugh, Supreme Court nominee, graduate of an accredited law school, is for sale to the highest bidder. Not once has he admitted to having made any legal decision that was based on the rule of law. He seeks to be a member of the highest court in the United States, yet he has no idea as to his job description. I think I can safely say that if pressed, he would not be able to give the legal definition of the word truth as defined by the rule of law and prove that he has in the past used it as intended according to the rule of law. He is not qualified for the position he seeks. Until the next time, I rest my case.
My name is Thomas Woodward, and I'm reading an article that I'd written for the Challenger Street newspaper in September 2018. The article title is When the Truth Comes Out. This is an open email to Austin's Public Health. Stephanie, I hope that this day finds you doing exceptionally well. I have found no reasonable resolves regarding the lockers at the Arch. One of the concrete evidence recovered in the attached 2017 resolution indicating that the Arch functioned in its built capacity, further restrictions has come about as a result of Front Steps failing to implement and follow a bed bug treatment plan. Clients must suffer as a result of Front Steps' incompetency. There are lockers under each third floor bunk, approximately 100 third floor lockers currently not being used. Slowly advancing, there are limited more and more people from locker use on the ground floor. This pattern by Front Steps is creating a crisis with regards to clients' employment mobility. While the City of Austin points to Front Steps points to the City of Austin. This behavior is indicative to Racketeering and Influence and Corruption Organizations Act. Front Steps 2017 independent auditors Reynolds and Frank, PC, indicated several discrepancies which have been referred to the Texas State Comptroller's Office. This behavior is unacceptable. If the City of Austin cannot commandeer control of the incompetency of their contract holders, further examination of both the City of Austin and Front Steps must commence at a federal level. Thank you for your time and consideration. Should you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Be safe and well. My very best, Thomas Woodward.
My name is Christopher Carr. I'm a writer and distributor for the Challenger, and I'm going to read a few poems that are published in the current edition of our publication. And the first one is called The 6th of August. And there's a backstory to this because the 6th of August is a significant date in history. It's something that I happen to think right now that we live in a time where the 20th century is being antiqued, the 20th century is being disregarded, and history is being disregarded. What happened in the 20th century is being dismissed as being irrelevant. And a lot of things that were standard operating procedure in the 20th century are no longer relevant. So I make it a point to excavate historical memory because the 6th of August is the anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima at the end of World War II. And this is the first time that an active belligerent used a nuclear weapon on an inhabited city, Hiroshima, Japan. So this is called For the 6th of August. It was today, when today was today, the Enola Gay, she went away. For the 9th of August, sunrise incendiary, Japanese shadows burned onto white buildings behind their bodies' vaporization. This is called Confession Countermanding Inchoate Shadows at the Advent of Television. Did you even know that shade of blue? Nighttime on television. And while you watch chewing gum for your eyes, let's start with your eyes, the way a dog knows right where to look. Consider the shadow cast. What occludes? Is that the azure raunch of dawn, or is it the weary blue of dusk? O Lucretius, do not ask what is it? The things we know will make a visit. It is some day of the presumed setting. God did this for us, and the rooster, the white chickens, the glaze of rainwater. Dear reader, sick of my voice, supposed to be sick of it, but by whom? And this is called Once Upon a Time. Once upon a time, there was a technology conspiracy no one knew. No one could gather recognitive. What was the shadow cast from Nagasaki? We know. Shadow emissions, occluded suborbital nuclear sunlight, the squalor, excrement, and char bubbles, grill marks cause cancer and indemnified money worshippers. A hacker snuck into a baby monitor in order to whisper counter-remonstrance to the toddler. Hallucination, say the parents, until they heard the monitor register their approach. Still no crime, and no forensic in undifferentiated Libertyville.
Hi, thanks for listening. My name's Pirate Joe, and I'm reading an article that is published in the September issue of The Challenger titled Get a Job. I work harder at not working than most people work. It's worth it. How's it working for you? I have no bills. On average, I walk 6 miles a day, and that's extremely conservative. I have a personal commitment to 1.5 miles at least, with a 50-pound pack to earn my first meal of the day 5 days a week. If that kind of commitment was put between the average domestic and a fridge, what would that do to healthcare? I smoke. Did you know being overweight is 10 times more damaging to your health than smoking? What say you, non-smokers, to fat people-free zones? It's for your health. I haggle, trade, and barter for basic necessities. How long could you last if the lights go out? When that happens, I will have work at my asking price for those who take modern luxury and convenience as the only way of life they've ever known. I know every back alley, forest trail, ashtray, bathroom, and water fountain location for 5 square miles. Okay, more like 1.5 miles, and a lot of the 5. Working real hard like you do, how far off your horse blinder path to work, the store, or your hangouts do you know? See what a job teaches you about the world yet? I'm rocked to sleep every night by the world's circadian rhythm, in the wind and the lullaby of crickets. Exactly the opposite of the monotone, stale drone of air conditioning in the indoor tomb, of which comes with a price tag. How many times are you going to pay someone to live? Nature doesn't make you pay for food. People do. My free time is worth starving for. Will your job ever let you test that? You're sure without experience it's worth it. Can't argue with fear, I guess. Does it take a resume to pick food, or swim, or build a fire, or make clothes, or make anything? Here's a hint. It's all about the labor paradigm. Sell the hours of your life, and you need a resume to be owned. Sell the product of your labor, and all you need is someone who needs that product. Not even a criminal record comes up at the point of sale yet. Even if they legislate that, it will only make a robust black market. The drug war is one easy piece of evidence of that. Living as a traveler, the whole world is a learning curve. Get a degree and kiss a diverse learning curve goodbye. It's just diminishing returns on over-specialization after that. Get a job implicitly means I hate my life and I'm jealous of your freedom, but I'm blinded by my hypocrisy, and you're a testament to that. Your presence frustrates me for reasons I've drunk too much Kool-Aid to see through. Well, some of the subtitles I see, at least. Don't worry, though. What do I know? I'm homeless and useless, right? Until the grid goes down, that is. How much will your job have taught you then? Don't bother answering me. That answer is something you'll have to give to the people who depend on you. The people you pay your light bills for, but never learned how the lights worked. The food you buy for them, but never learned how to grow. The phone bills you've paid for to keep you all on Facebook and not talking to your families. Would it really surprise you to find out there's more bare-bones honesty between strangers who are street than most house bloods relatives practice? What is your job really giving you? Thank you.
And those are some really moving and intellectually challenging stories from the street by the Challenger Street newspaper. And I just want to thank all of the writers and all of the Challenger distributors and Val as well, the editor, for this wonderful partnership with the Austin Public Library. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, this is the very last episode of Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show. And I'm Kanya Lyons, and it's been my pleasure to host for the last couple of years. And I just want the other two key members of our team that are here today to also say goodbye. We have Federico Pacheco, who has volunteered with this show for over a year, and now he's a manager here at the Co-op radio program station.
Yes, it's been a real pleasure to work with you, Kenya, throughout the last year and a half. And I will have this experience, in my heart all the time. And I wish you good luck in your future.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to work with you. And of course, DJ, without whom we would not have the Austin Public Library radio show. DJ Harris, hi.
Hello, Kanya. Thank you so much for your service to Co-op Radio and to the Austin Public Library for many, many years. This has been a really, really good experience for me. One of the things that has been really good for me is getting to know you better. And you're a really, really great person, and I wish you all the best. And I'm sorry that we're not continuing, but it's been a great run.
It's been wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye, listeners. Thanks for listening to Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show. Special thanks to our producer, DJ Harris, and to the musicians who composed and performed our original theme song, Andrew Noble on violin, Kirk Duvall on guitar, and Mike Wheat on percussion. And thanks to you, our listeners. Volumes, the Austin Public Library radio show, airs Wednesday afternoons at 2:30 on Co-op 91.7 FM and koop.org. If you catch us mid-show, full episodes and other details can be found at library.austintexas.gov/volumes.